All right, here we go. This is video 8. We've thus far worked our way all the way around the AVALONIA Tri-Town Preserve. And here we are right now. We're close to being all the way through. This may be our last video. We'll see. We're going to come down. We're going to take the foundation byway and loop back up to Blue and out. Okay, you can see here the Blue Loop is a 5-mile trail. So we're going to work our way over to the foundation byway now, see what we can get into. Here we go. Oh, Eddie's laying down, chilling. Okay, so as we've seen, back in the woods behind Stonington High School, we've seen our cellar hole foundations, so, and thus far here in the Tri-Town Preserve, much of what we've gotten into has been, areas where we see a lot of the rock walls and examples of areas that would have been farmed or native areas. Here, we're going to take the foundation byway, okay, and then it eventually brings us back to the main Blue Trail. If we wanted to stay main Blue, we would go continue straight up that hill. We're going to take the byway though. Okay, go check it out. See what we can get into over here. But one of the things we want to think about is, that relationship between, the native people that lived here, the wildlife that's been here, and, that injection of Europeans coming into the fold, now 400 years ago. So, that basically what I'm getting at is a lot has gone down here in these woods, these areas that we live in before we came along, and that's easy to forget. So you'll often hear me say when we're in conservation and preservation, a lot of it is about humility or just humbling ourselves, recognizing there was a lot going on here before us, and there'll be a lot of things after us. So it's like we're part of that story now. And what are we going to be looked at as? Like, what's going to be left behind from the times in which we live? It's something. Nothing else. It's a thought exercise, just to consider what's going to be left. I mean, we do so much digitally now, including this video that I'm making right now, that there's not a lot of real stuff anymore, like tangible things that are a record, of our existence. So from getting humbled a little bit, the fact that we have all these rock walls from people that lived here hundreds and thousands of years ago, you got to tip your cap to that. They've left a record. They've left a they existed. They were here. They lived on these lands. They were here, and much of what they cultivated here is gone. But there are these examples, whether it be these stone walls, foundations, cellar holes, sluiceways. There's many examples of human environment interaction. I think the common denominator here is many of the examples that we see in a preserve like Tri-Town, or even in our woods behind Stonington High School. There's that tactile handle. You can see it. It's tangible. Like you can see those stone foundations. You can see those rock walls, whatever it may be. And seriously, think about it. What if 200, 300, 400 years from now, when people think back on the 2020 era, maybe not 2020 on its own, but just like this era in which we're all living, what are they gonna, what's the record? What's it gonna look like? What's it gonna be? I mean, is it gonna be something that they can actually have an experience with? It's gonna be social media? I mean, what's it gonna be? So that's something that, as I said, it's a thought exercise. It's, we would all have different opinions on that. But something that I do know is we can come out here and we can see the record that was left by people that lived here, whether it be the native populations of this land or the European settlers and farmers, those people that came in here and staked their claim and made, carved out a life. They left a record. It's pretty cool. Pretty interesting, for sure. Something to note on these markers, which are so well marked, these trails. This is the blue trail, but it's a byway, so they kind of tagged the bottom with the little white mark. And on the map, if you had a map, you would see this is a blue trail with like white dots going through it. So again, it's just a well-marked trail to, kind of provide, guidance if you're out here, but also safety. If you got yourself out here and had no idea where you're at, you could pull the map out. I mean, even now, pull the cell phone out and access the map if you didn't take a photo of it, and you'd be able to get your way out of here. And that's something that, you wouldn't be able to Google it. I mean, you could Google the map, but you wouldn't get turn-by-turn instructions. So you kind of would have to know how to read a map to do it, like to place yourself. So you'd have to have some sense of direction and experience with it. But it's something that I think it's a good skill to have. It's problem solving. It's thinking in a way that we don't really have to do all that often. So it's something worth experiencing. So I would love for you guys, as I've said many times, I would love for you guys to get out here, check it out, get your hike going, and make hay while the sun shines, man. Get out and do some stuff. Get out and experience it. It would be a shame if you only watch these videos. I want you to get out and experience it yourself. Check these places out. It helps you in many, many ways. I believe that, and there's a lot of scientific data that supports it, that we benefit greatly from getting out and getting exercise and reconvening with nature a little bit. But just the physical side of it, I think, is enough. It's good for us. So I hope you guys are embracing that. It's a big part of what this is all about. What this class is all about. It's why we work to get out, have that hands-on experience, have that tactile experience, that experiential learning. That's what we're talking about. But also, if you can incorporate a little physicality into it, it's good. It's good stuff. I was hoping to keep this video under 10 again. Kind of have a streak of that. It's kind of challenging though. It's challenging to time it out. As I've said before, maybe some of you are good with editing. You could lend me some expertise. I'm always happy to learn from people that know more than I do. And I just saw my first person out there. Kind of crazy. Hello. How you doing? Good. What's that?
There's someone right here.
Oh, hey, how are you? No, I saw you guys. Have a nice day. All right, so that's interesting. That's cool. It's funny. I think I said in maybe the previous video, I've said it a couple times, I've never seen anybody out here, so it's happened. That's good. I didn't want to make it awkward. I put the camera down. I didn't want to. That's not trying to make things awkward. So to continue,